welcome back. So today I'm coming at you with this anti-Valentine's Day makeup tutorial. I know it's been a while, it's been way too long, but I'm here, back, better than ever. Just kidding. I was just in a funk for the past few weeks, but it's over, okay? So the first thing that I did was prime my eyelids with this Photo Focus concealer from Wet n Wild. It was just a bit darker for my under eye for me, so that's what I'm using it for. And then I'm setting it with the Wet n Wild single shadow in Creme Brulee. I feel like it's just such a nice flesh toned shade, so I'm going to use that to set it all together. And then I'm using the BH Cosmetics Blushed Neutrals palette, this brown shade on the crease to add some dimension and just serve as the transition color. I love this palette, it is so pretty. And then I'm going to go in with the BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic palette. You guys know it's one of my favorites. And I'm going in with Prometheus and Aphrodite. And I'm just buffing that into the crease with this Wet n Wild crease brush. It is such a nice brush. So cheap too. I think it's like maybe $2.99. No. I think it's maybe 99 cents, but no more than $3. So I started out with Prometheus first, and then I topped it off with Aphrodite to add a little bit more of a reddish shade. I didn't know where I was going with this look, but I knew that I wanted to base it around this eyeshadow. This is the ColourPop single eyeshadow in Cloud 9. I just recently got a bunch of these shadows, and I can't wait to use them more. It is just such a nice brownie with a purple undertoned color, but I'm using this small eyeshadow brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm putting that all over the lid. It's so pretty. I just packed it on with my finger, you know, that's my magical rule. After that, I used the Mars shade from the Galaxy Chic palette to add a little bit of baked goodness into it. And then to sharpen up the brow bone, I'm going to use this shimmery shade from the Blush Neutrals palette and popping that right on to the brow bone to make it stand out. I wanted a little bit extra in there, so I just put that shimmery yellow golden shade into the center of the lid. And I'm just making sure everything's blended out. There's no sharp edges, no sharpness anywhere. And then I'm using this felt tip liner. I'm the type of girl that likes a thin type of liner just because of the way my eyelids are. They're just a bit hooded, so when I do a thick eyeliner, it just looks a little bit crazy and it doesn't look nice at all for me. So I like to do kind of a longer, thin line. And it was kind of hard to do with this liner in specific, so I just included a little clip of it. I don't wear winged liner nearly as much as I used to when I was in my high school days, so it's a bit harder for me to do. It just takes me a lot longer. Afterwards, I'm just using a baby wipe to wipe off all of the fallout that fell from that shadow. I'm using the Benefit Pore-ffesional primer. I haven't really used this that much, and it was just a sample that I got from my Ipsy bag. So I'm putting that all over my skin because my pores are huge. And then I'm using this green to cover up a little bit blemishes, a few of my blemishes, and using the peachy toned shade to cover up the darkness under my eyes because my circles are serious. So I went in with the Wet n Wild foundation, the new one. You guys, it is so good. This was actually the first time that I tried it. It was the first time that I tried a lot of products in this tutorial, but I loved it. And I used this Bare Minerals, this Bare Minerals brush. It was so expensive and I really don't like it, so I try to use it when I can, and all my other brushes were dirty, so this was gonna do. However, I did find a dupe for it, so I don't know if I'm just gonna make a vlog post or I'm gonna do like a dedicated video to a bunch of dupes. You let me know. So afterwards, I went in with a concealer. I think this is the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. The Wet n Wild concealer that I got in light was just not light enough for my under eyes. It was more of my skin tone, so I just used this one instead. And of course, blending my under eyes away with a beauty sponge. This one is the Real Techniques beauty sponge. It is awesome. So to add a little bit more oomph, I'm using this other Wet n Wild. I think it's the illuminating concealer. I'll leave it all linked down below. But that's what I'm going in with. Again, the first time that I used it, it was good. Add a little bit of luminosity to the face. You know what I mean? Made things a little bit brighter. And then, of course, you know, I'm going to set it with the NYC Loose Translucent Setting Powder. I love this powder. Of course, I set that with the NYC Loose Setting Powder. I'm definitely going to branch out with other drugstore powders and let you guys know, well, loose powders, to let you guys know what to look out for. And then I went in with the Rimmel Stay Matte Pressed Powder. I usually get creamy beige, but I'm going to double check and leave everything linked down below. So I used that to set my face. And I know you guys are so sick of me. You guys are so sick of me using this. Okay? But I'm on the hunt. Whether it's cream or powder, I'm on the hunt to try out a new contour powder. But for now, this one is just going to be it, guys. This is just perfect for me. And then I've been loving this bronzer as well. This is the BH Cosmetics Natural Finish Satin Bronzer. I think this one is in Tropical Tan. It is so good. I love the way that it makes my face look. And then I'm just going to go ahead and dust all of the bake off. I thought this was just suitable, so I used the Too Faced, I think this is a Sweethearts blush and contour bronzer palette, but it's just so annoying because the blush part is so small, but I ended up making it work. That one I think was the Ross and Rachel palette, and then I used this ColourPop highlight in Wisp. It is really pretty too. The first time that I used it, so, you know, I gotta check that highlight out. And then I ended up just going in with my fingers because ColourPop eyeshadows and highlights and all of that stuff, they're on point, especially when you use your finger. I also completely forgot to mention that I put glitter on my lids. It's the liquid liner glitter from e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'll leave it all linked down below. Oh, and this was such a fail. You guys, I used an eyeshadow brush that I had used to blend out black eyeshadow, and I didn't realize until afterwards. Of course I would. To line my lips, I'm using the e.l.f. lip liner in Wine, I believe. And then on top of that, I used the Wet n Wild Catsuit liquid lipstick in Goth Topic. It is such a pretty shade. It's like a really dark, super vampy, like extremely vampy, burgundy, just dark shade. It was perfect. So I'm just using that all over the lips, and that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will talk to you in my next video. Bye!